I wanted to make a couple of quick points. If you're changing the brake pads, which in my case I do not need to, the brake pads are just great. Like somebody did this job fairly recently. I've probably got 90% of my pad life here, so I'm not going to spend any extra bucks and replace them. But if you are in a position where you need to replace your brake pads, the pistons are going to be expanded to the point that when you put the new pads in, you're not going to get it over the rotor. So you'll need to push the pistons of the caliper back inside the housing so that you have enough room to get over the rotor. I'm sure there's a lot of videos on YouTube that explain this procedure. You will need a C-clamp, preferred using the old set of pads to drive against so that you can put the pistons back into the housing. So like I say, there's probably a million videos on that technique. In my case, I didn't need to do it because I'm not replacing the pads, and the pistons are back far enough in the housing that there's no issue to get it back over the rotor. So anyway, you will need a C-clamp, preferred an old set of pads to press against. The other thing I wanted to point out is that the brake quiet, very important. Hopefully it's in the shot. Apply copious amounts to the back of the pad to reduce any noise, squealing, and that sort of thing, which is hopefully going to reduce all of my noise on that left-hand side. And what else? One of the biggest mistakes that people make is they put the pad in facing the wrong direction. So when you reassemble it, you want to make sure that the pad's facing the rotor and not the back of the pad facing the rotor. So just double check your work as you go, and take your time. The stuff assembles properly, and if it doesn't feel right, then maybe something's not going together the way it's supposed to. So anyway, as I had mentioned, copious amounts, large amounts of brake quiet. We'll need to reassemble this. We want the pad to face the rotor. This is the inside one, and this will go in place, and hopefully you can see this in the video. I sure hope you can, but anyway, try not to drop it in the dirt. We'll put one side in, the other against here. We'll get the top in first. Come on, buddy. And there she goes. Okay, nice. Okay, we got the first one. No problemi there. And the other one I have not added or put the brake quiet on yet. I like to make sure I have it looking the way it needs to go. Kind of do a dry run. And you know what? That'd be the wrong way, wouldn't it? Oh, it sure would be. I sure hope that's coming out in the video. So that's not going to be right either. Let's see here. Man, I'm all goofed up. Here we go. This is how it needs to be. And it's going to go up top first and then slide in on the back. Yeah, perfect. Just like that. So we'll try to remember that for about 5 seconds while we put a little bit of the brake quiet on. Shake it up real good. Then we'll put a good amount, nice and neat, on here. Oh, look at that. Not too bad. There we go. That's pretty. Put the cap back on there. We still got this going the right way. Again, I really hope this is coming out in the video. And we'll set that in the position it needs to be. Just going very, very well here. Okay, we got to pull the wire that we're hanging the caliper from. We'll get that out of the way. We'll come over here. Hopefully keep all of this together. We'll go over the rotor. Hopefully it's going to go somewhat reasonable. Be really great if it looked real good for the YouTube video, you know. Let's try resting it down on this perch. down at the bottom. Just take your time, try not to lose your cool. Something obviously is giving me a little hassle here. I don't know what it is yet, but there we go. There she goes. Okay, good. Like I say, just have to be patient. Take your time. It all goes together. That's good. That's not too bad. Whew. Boy, see? Fun times. Worth it, though. The savings of money is incredible. The experience of doing it is good. And it's just nice. You're out here late afternoon, beautiful weather. Let me show you how to do this in case you mess up like I did. Get underneath it and start driving it back using the side of the hammer. Just be careful not to hit the brake line, of course, and drive that pin back out. Now that's what happens sometimes. You know, you work on stuff you're not familiar with and you make a mistake, but don't get discouraged. You know, that's how everybody learns. I've worked in enough professional shops to know that even the pros make mistakes. The difference is if you make a mistake, correcting it, finding it before it's an issue, really important. So, oh gosh, I hope I didn't move the camera. I think I did a little bit. Okay, anyway, let me get back up here and make sure I got the camera looking all right. Shoot. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, we look pretty good still. All right, and we're still recording. And I guess it's going okay. Got the pin out. Boy, oh boy. What a mistake that was. Let's flip it over. That way the nubs will actually have an effect on how this assembly stays together. So, all right. Caught my mistake. Let's drive that thing in there and see if it looks a little bit better, okay? And definitely it is. Oh boy, whew, that was some work. All right, we're going to tap it in right till we get the nubs up against this surface right here. That way they'll actually, and you can hear that, right? It bottomed out. It bottomed out. We're not going to take it too much further, but it's bottomed out. And now, very effective and looking good on the other side. Brake line's still good. The pads are still facing the rotor, fortunately. The pads are still in position. We'll just very gently tap them in till they bottom out. You guys can hear that, right? So, anyway, there you go. Pads are in place, pins are in place, both top and bottom. Rotor still turns. Very good. Last thing we need to do is put that spring in. Okay? Whew-wee, boy, I'll tell you. Never a dull moment. Let me turn the camera off for a second, see how this goes, and we'll see if we can get this put in quickly and efficiently for you guys. Okay, here we go. Now remember this spring on the other side, it may be hard to see in the video, but it's actually indented a little bit on both sides. So I did on the other side, did like the fact that it really sits nice on the back of those pads. So that's the direction we're going to have it. And we're going to get it started at the top and try to lock it in place down here on the bottom. Go in far enough that it catches, and there we go. There's a point that spring sits in, and also on the top. Beautiful. All is well with the spring. Rotor's still turning nicely. Pins are in place. Backside looks good. I'm sure there's some people that are going to have a lot to say about this, but you know, here's the good thing. It's done. It didn't cost me anything. I did the work myself, hopefully passing on a little knowledge to guys. And I got to tell you, I look at YouTube videos and I see mechanics that are fumbling a little bit. I find that comforting because I know, hey, I'll be fumbling a little bit too. But the important thing is it's done properly. We're all assembled here. I'm going to go and finish the tie rod ends and the ball joints, quick lubrication on those, and then we'll put the wheel back on, torque the lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds, show you how to do that real quick. Man, I'll tell you, I think we're about done.